year, I was introduced to something I had never thought possible, an imperfect world. As a small child, I had never realized that not everyone lives the way I do, happy and comfortable, with food on the table day after day, and parents who love me and buy me presents on Christmas. I mean, sure, I knew there were fire trucks and policemen and even bad guys. I did have a brother. But it had never occurred to me that there was something much worse, something that plagued the entire world: poverty. My life changed when my 6th grade teacher introduced me to Free the Children. She gave me a book describing the recounts of Craig Heelberger. Through this book, I was awakened to the issues of the world and a child with an inspiration to change them. I hadn't even known such problems existed, much less that a child could fix them. Immediately, I was inspired to make a change, just like 12-year-old Craig. I wanted to make a difference in the lives of others. Take a moment to picture what poverty looks like to you. Children die every day from highly preventative diseases because they don't have enough money to buy medicines or doctor services. 870 million people don't have enough food to eat, and 1 billion people lack adequate drinking water. Together, we can change this. According to the United Nations, this feat could be accomplished with $4 billion. $4 billion to fulfill the needs of children and families across the world. Some people in the world have more money than this in their own personal bank accounts. These people deserve a chance to have food on the table and presents on Christmas. Some of you may be thinking that people in poverty are there because of their life's choices. But did you know that as of 1950, there were 53 countries in Africa, and only 4 of those were independent countries. The rest were owned by other countries that didn't care what happened to the people. They only cared about the land and the resources that the countries possess and provide. Awareness is one thing that is positively needed in overcoming poverty. So I decided to test the knowledge of a 7th grade class. I wasn't sure what was going to happen when I walked into my World Studies class that day. I had prepared to interview the class, and after having the students write their answers down on sheets of paper, I reviewed the information, and the answers I received once again sparked a new inspiration in my ideas of moving forward, spreading awareness, and as a long-term goal, overcoming poverty. I asked my class what their answer would be to this question: how many people live on the continent of Africa? And I had answers ranging from 100 to 1.5 billion. Of the class of 23, 17 people guessed below the correct answer, which is 1.1 billion. And I realized awareness for the other parts of the world needed to be known. The people of my generation may not know enough about the problem to set forth fixing it. That's why I believe raising awareness is the first step in accomplishing the long-term goal. But even if we do raise awareness, there isn't anything children can do, right? Most people, primarily adults, think that the most a child can do is raise a few petty dollars for charity. And some parents think that raising money for charity is just a phase, that their children will eventually grow out of it. But the truth of the matter is that children can make a difference, and the fact that people don't believe they can or don't help them pursue their goals will push the children even harder and further than before, which makes them some of the best people to change the world. All over the world, children have been making a change, even from the dark roads of Pakistan. Malala, a young girl, began speaking out against the Taliban, who were taking away her right to an education, just because she was a girl. And even after a death threat was issued on her and her family, she continued to fight for what she believed in, and was even shot in the process. But what did it result in? She was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in both 2013 and 2014, and she received it in 2014, making her the youngest person to ever receive the prize. And you thought children couldn't make a difference. Because wasn't it said that everything big starts small, and that children are our future? So we have to show them what the truth is. We have to give our children a reason to change the world. Imagine what would happen to you if you fell into poverty, or even extreme poverty, living on less than $1.25 a day. It seems impossible, right? But even here in North America, 14% of people live in poverty. 14% of people are achieving the impossible. And in Africa, the number is even larger. Africa is the second largest continent in the world, with 1.1 billion people, and 47% of people are in poverty. Almost half of the second largest continent in the world lies in poverty. Doesn't that seem impossible? In most cases, achieving the impossible is a great thing, which can lead to new discoveries, things such as putting a man on the moon. But there are also cases when achieving the impossible isn't so great, when it can lead to death and destruction. But my thoughts and decisions were changed when I read a National Geographic article entitled "Feeding 9 Billion." The main idea of the article was simple. We may not have enough food to sustain our population. Even though it may seem harsh, as reality often is, the article said that by raising people out of poverty, we deplete more and more of our world's food supply until eventually we'll run out. This took my thoughts in a whole new direction, but I was determined to finish the article. As I continued reading, I found that I was becoming more and more relieved. The article stated that although our food supply may be in jeopardy, it is worth it to raise those in poverty out of it. Because isn't human life worth more than several extra meals being distributed out? I mean, think about it. I'm sure you can all come up with hundreds of things done by hundreds of remarkable people over hundreds of years. The people of Earth have found a way through many tragic events that killed thousands of people, such as a large tsunami in Haiti several years ago, and we have found a way to make food from what we found around us. With the time and effort needed in making a change, we can make a change, little by little, child by child, through bringing awareness, realizing what is really important, and accepting that the children of our generation can make a difference. We can and we will make a change in this world. For a first step in making a change, you can visit freethechildren.org to donate, raise awareness, learn more, and teach others. Thank you.